Hello guys, this video is about dental school interviews. So I'm gonna share with you some categories. You know, I like categorize things a lot. It makes them easier, and also I'm gonna share with you some tips that hopefully will help you to perform better during your actual interview. So the first category would be the type of interview when they go over your SOP, personal statement, and your resume. Examples of such schools would be Boston and Rutgers. In the past few years, they had their online interview, and the purpose of this interview would be to learn you as a person, to learn your personality, because they already like you on paper. They would not invite you on the interview if they would not like you how you look on paper. So obviously they want to check how confident you are in what you wrote on paper. Is this like really this person is so amazing as it looks on paper? And the strategy how to approach this interview, or maybe some tips, would be read your personal statement and resume before the interview. If the interview is online, you can even print it out and have it handy with some notes, and maybe you kind of even guess what they might be interested in. And I would put like particular notes or answers like on your guest questions to these papers, and that's kind of all you can do. So the second type of the interview is the most common type, like almost every other school has such type of interview, would be when they ask you, each candidate the same questions, and you can Google common dental school interview questions, and there will be like a long list, like from 30 or maybe more questions. For example, like what is your weakness, what is your strength, how do you approach stress, how do you deal with stress, what was the biggest challenge in your life, how did you overcome it? This similar to this, and think ahead what you're gonna answer to each of these questions. So this type of interview, it looks like that. They invite like about, I don't know, 10 candidates, let's say, and then take each one candidate at a time, goes for, I don't know, 20 minutes interview, where they ask you, I don't know, the list of questions, the same as they would ask other candidate. Then they record you during your interview on a video, and sometimes they write like answers too. And for those faculties who couldn't attend the actual interview, they will be able to evaluate your performance from the video. And at the very end, they can just compare all candidates' answers and choose which candidate they liked the most. They literally can vote, you know, and then based on that make the acceptance offers. This is kind of interview that is most common. So the third one is, I put miscellaneous type because there are a little bit, I don't know, like I kind of put in this group everything. I would talk about PBL and ethical questions the most. PBL is the interview type that they use for in USC. This university is famous with their PBL. That's how they teach you. They will teach you. So obviously, if you don't enjoy PBL, you don't need to apply to USC. And the interview, kind of, they put you in a group from 6 to 8 people, and they see how you interact with the team. Are you a team player or not? Obviously, they want a team player. And also the other thing they evaluate is your thought process, your critical thinking. So they give you like history, patient's history, maybe like 2 paragraphs at a time, and you have to discuss what are your ideas about patient's condition or diagnosis as a group. So you kind of need to show off a little bit as a person, to show your answers, what is your thought process, but you also need to be nice to your group and interact with the group appropriately and show that you are a good team player. And it doesn't matter if you guess the diagnosis wrong or right. The only thing that matters how you explain why do you think so. So pay attention to details. This type of interview, details are very important. Like read every sentence, and there is something you can say about every sentence that they provide. And they will expose more and more like text for you when the interview goes like forward. Also, during such interview type, they also ask one person to be a note taker or one person to be a reader, and that helps you to show your leadership skills if you want to be a note taker or if you want to be a reader. That's kind of, I think, good to do during such type of interview. And the other thing is ethical questions or ethical dilemmas, which is probably the most, I don't know, for some reason it's the most complicated for us, for foreign trained dentists, probably because of the cultural differences and difference law. You know, the US laws, like, they're a little bit different. So how I would recommend to approach this kind of questions, first I would make sure that you understand the situation correctly. Like, for example, if some person came with a bruise, like some kid came with a bruise, you obviously need to ask separately the child and the parent, where did this bruise come from, you know, because it could be that he just fell on a playground and there is nothing to worry about, but it could be some other situation like abuse case or anything, neglect case. So first you try to pull out the information as much as possible from the child and from the mother. And if you kind of feel that something is not matching in that, and you suspect something, then you just strictly follow the protocol. Then you, like, there is like, for every particular situation, just say I would follow the protocol, notify the authorities if needed. If it's a situation regarding safety, then you have to act as quick as possible, because you obviously don't want anyone to be in danger. So take safety very seriously and follow protocols, and if needed, notify authorities. But before you notify authorities, you try to figure out the situation, kind of what's going on, and is there really in need to notify them or not. That's kind of a little bit tips, but I know you gotta think through these ethical questions. They're not that easy sometimes. They try to trick you. But again, safety, that's the most kind of your concern. It should be. I guess this is all, guys, that I have for you that I prepared about interviews. Let me know if you have any questions, and see you soon, guys. Bye.